There is something being assembled right now, not a product, not a transaction, something that only comes into existence through the specific combination of genuine care and particular knowledge and the specific motivation of a person who has been paying close enough attention to you for long enough that they understand what would reach you, what would land, what would produce in you the specific, involuntary, this was made for me quality of receiving something that could not have been made for anyone else because it is built entirely from the specific details of who you actually are. Someone is building something for you, and the building is happening in secret, in the quiet of their own private planning, in the specific, this is just for them quality of preparation that happens before a gift arrives. When the joy of the preparing is entirely internal and entirely about the imagining of the receiving, they are living in that anticipatory joy right now, carrying it through their days with the particular lightness of someone who has a good secret, who knows something you do not know, who is moving through the ordinary moments of their life with this private, warm, I cannot wait to see their face thing sitting in them like a steady glow. And the thing that is motivating all of it, the specific reason for the planning and the care and the particular quality of attention being brought to this, is the simplest and the most genuinely moving motivation available to a person. They just want to see you smile, not impress you, not demonstrate their value, not receive credit for the doing of something thoughtful, not produce a particular outcome in the dynamic between you, not manage your perception of them or advance any agenda or fulfill any obligation. They want to see your face do the specific thing it does when something genuine reaches you, when the composure softens and the warmth surfaces and the real unmanaged, nobody is performing this response to something that has landed arrives in your expression before you have had time to prepare a more appropriate version of it. That is what they are working toward. Your smile, the real one. Subscribe to this channel and drop the word surprise in the comments right now. Because what is being planned for you and the specific quality of care and knowing and genuine love of your joy that is going into the planning is something you deserve to feel fully when it arrives. And this reading is going to prepare you to feel it fully by making sure you understand what it is before it gets here. Let me start with the person who is doing the planning. Not by naming them, the naming belongs to your specific story, and you will know who this is when the moment arrives. By describing the quality of who they are, the specific, recognizable character of someone who plans something like this and who plans it for these specific reasons, they are a noticer. That is the first and most defining thing. They move through their relationship with you paying a quality of attention that most people do not sustain in their significant relationships after the novelty of the early stages has faded. Not the performative attention of someone who is trying to appear interested, the genuine, organic, this is simply how I am with people who matter to me attention of someone who finds you genuinely interesting and who has not lost that interest through familiarity. They notice the small things, the things you do not announce, The things you probably do not think anyone is tracking because they are not the kind of things that require tracking. They are simply the ordinary details of who you are in your daily life, the specific things you respond to with delight, the things that make your eyes change quality, the things that make you laugh in the particular way that is different from your polite laugh, the things that make you go quiet and thoughtful rather than engaged and verbal, and what those things are and why they produce that specific quality of interior response. They have been accumulating this information for long enough that what they have is not a general impression of you. It is a specific, detailed, this is actually who she is portrait, built from the genuine, unhurried, I find this person endlessly worth paying attention to quality of someone who is in the specific form of love that pays attention the way other people reserve for things they know they will not always have access to. This person is also someone who finds joy in giving, not in the strategic, what does this produce for me way that some people approach generosity. In the specific, the giving is its own reward way of someone who genuinely, unreservedly experiences pleasure in the pleasure of people they love, who finds in your delight a quality of gladness that is not dependent on any return on the investment, who does not need you to make a particular fuss or offer a particular response or demonstrate that the gift was the right size and the right form and was received with the appropriate level of enthusiasm, who just wants to see you smile. That specificity of motivation, that pure, uncalculating, I am doing this entirely for the joy of your joy quality, is what makes what they are planning different from a kind gesture. It is an act of love expressed in the specific form of someone who knows how you receive love best and is delivering it in exactly that form. Let me describe the planning itself, the specific interior experience of this person as they assemble what they are assembling. It started with a thought, not a big ceremonial, I am going to do something significant decision, the quiet kind, the kind that arrives naturally, organically, in the middle of something unrelated when a person who cares about you thinks of something that would bring you joy, and the thought immediately produces the response. I should do that. I should make that happen. I should be the one who gives her that. The thought arrived and it felt right with the specific, no need for further deliberation quality of something that is simply clearly the right thing to do. And from that moment, from that quiet, organic, I should do this arrival they have been in the planning has been specific, thoughtful in the genuine, I have actually considered what would specifically delight this specific person way, rather than in the general, this seems like the appropriate gesture way. They have been thinking about what you love, not what people in general love or what is conventionally considered a nice thing to do. What you specifically, particularly in the specific configuration of your specific tastes and your specific nature and your specific way of experiencing things, respond to as genuinely delightful. They have probably discarded more ideas than they have kept. In the private, nobody sees this part quality of planning something with care. They have generated options and evaluated them against the specific standard of whether it is right for you, not just nice, right? Whether it has the specific quality of being something that only someone who actually knows you would think to do rather than something that would be a reasonable and appropriate thing to do for anyone. The thing they landed on has that quality, that only someone who knows you quality. And when it arrives, you are going to feel that immediately before you even fully process what you are receiving. You are going to feel the specific, this could only be for me quality of something that was built from genuine knowledge of who you are. Let me talk about why this person wants to see you smile specifically, because the motivation is specific and understanding it tells you something important about where you stand in their interior. They have noticed that you do not smile recklessly. That Virgo smile, the full, genuine, this has actually reached me version is not freely and easily distributed. It is not the social smile that functions as politeness, not the appreciative smile that acknowledges something pleasant without being moved by it. The real one is reserved, arrives only when something genuine has penetrated the composed exterior. Is the specific, telltale, this has actually landed evidence that something has reached the place where you actually live rather than the managed, appropriate to the occasion outer layer. This person has seen the real one, possibly more than once in moments that were probably unremarkable on the surface, moments when something you did not expect to be as delightful as it was arrived and your face responded before you had time to curate the response. In moments of genuine surprise or genuine humor or genuine warmth that surfaced the smile in its real form, and they have been storing the memory of it in this specific, this is something I want to produce again way of someone who has witnessed something they found extraordinary and who would like to be the cause of it again, who understands that the real Virgo smile is not given to everyone and not given easily, and who finds in the rarity of it the specific quality that makes being the cause of it something worth working toward. Your smile is something they are working toward. That is the entire motivation. The specific, I want to be the reason she looks like that quality of someone who has seen your joy in its real form and who has decided that making it happen is worth the effort and the care and the private, nobody sees this part planning that goes into doing it properly. Now, let me speak to something about you, about what it means for you to be receiving this, both the planning that is currently underway and the surprise that is coming from it. You do not receive easily. That is the most honest and the most important thing I can say about your relationship with being on the giving end versus the receiving end of care. Virgo gives with a thoroughness and a specificity and a genuine investment that is exceptional. The receiving is more complicated, more likely to produce the specific, I do not want to be a bother, this is too much. Let me redirect to whether they are okay quality of someone who is more comfortable in the active role of caring than in the receptive role of being cared for. There is a version of you that is already in advance of the surprise arriving, preparing to manage your response to it, to ensure that whatever you feel does not make the other person uncomfortable by being too much. To make sure the receiving looks appropriate and measured and does not produce any awkwardness by being too visible in its actual quality. I want to talk to that part of you directly, with kindness and with specificity. The person planning this surprise wants the full response, the one you are preparing to manage. The unmanaged, this actually got me, the real smile version of your receiving it. That is the point. That is what the whole thing is for. The managed, gracious, appropriately warm, but not excessive version of receiving is what they are actively trying to not produce. What they are working around, what they have put the care and the thought and the planning into specifically in order to bypass the managed exterior, the polite reception, the appropriate response. They want to get through to you, to reach the place underneath the management, and the specific quality of what they have planned has been designed with that goal in mind. Let it reach you. When it arrives, when the surprise is in front of you and your face wants to do the thing it does, when something genuine has landed, let it do the thing. Do not intercept the smile before it arrives at your expression. Do not modulate the warmth to something more appropriate. Do not redirect immediately to whether they are comfortable or whether you are making too much of this or whether the response is proportionate. Just let it land. Let yourself be surprised. Let the joy be visible in the specific, real, this is what it actually looks like form that this person has been working to produce. Give them the smile they have been planning for. It is the most genuine thank you available. What does the surprise actually look like? What form is the care taking? I cannot tell you the specific content because the specific content belongs to your story and to the particular knowledge this person has of you that informs what they have chosen. But I can describe its quality. The quality is unmistakable, regardless of the form. It has your name on it, not literally. In the specific, this was made with you in mind quality of something whose every detail reflects genuine knowledge of who you are. Where you look at it and you can trace the specific decisions that were made back to specific things about you, this particular element because they know you love it. That specific detail because they remembered something you mentioned once that you did not think anyone was particularly tracking. This quality rather than that one. Because they understand the difference and they understand your preference. The accumulation of those specific decisions, each one reflecting something particular about you, is what produces the this could only be for me quality that you are going to feel. It is not the size of it, not the expense, not the grandeur, the specificity, the evidence in every element that someone has been paying the kind of attention that only genuine love pays. It also has warmth in it. The specific, I made this from a good place quality of something that came from genuine wanting you to be happy rather than from obligation or performance or the strategic management of your impression of them. That warmth is palpable in things made from it. You can feel the difference between something done because it was required and something done because the person genuinely wanted to. The wanting to is what this is. All of it, from the first thought to the final execution. Let me describe what the moment of the surprise feels like when it arrives, the specific experience of receiving it. There is going to be a moment of not yet understanding the specific what is happening quality of the seconds before your brain has fully processed what is in front of you. In those seconds, your face is going to do something honest, something that arrives before any management is possible, because the brain is still catching up and the face is responding to the emotional reality before the intellectual reality has been processed. Pay attention to what your face does in those seconds. Not to curate it because it is too early to curate anything, to notice it because what your face does in those seconds is the honest answer to a question you perhaps have not fully let yourself ask about this person and what they mean to you. Then the understanding arrives. The specific, I see what this is quality of the moment, when the brain catches up to the emotional reality and both are now running simultaneously. When you understand what you are receiving and from whom and with what quality of care and for what simple and genuinely moving reason, that is when the smile comes, the real one, the one this person has been planning for. Let it come. What does this surprise mean beyond the surface of the lovely thing? What does it tell you about where you stand in this person's interior and what is available in this connection? It means you are thought about, not casually, not in the ambient, they cross my mind occasionally way. In the specific, I am going to do something about this because she deserves it way of someone for whom the thought of you does not pass through without producing the impulse to act on the thought, who experiences the awareness of you and the awareness of what would bring you joy and the impulse to be the cause of that joy as a connected sequence rather than as three separate things where the first two occur and the third does not. They thought of you, they thought of what would make you happy, and they decided to make it happen. That sequence thought to action, for no other reason than wanting your happiness, is one of the purest expressions of genuine care available in the human repertoire. It requires no special occasion, no obligation, no particular timing, except that the thought arrived and the feeling that followed it was too genuine to not act on. It also means you are safe with them. In the specific, I know enough about who you are to do this accurately kind of safety. The safety of being known, of being with a person whose knowledge of you has reached the level where they can navigate your specific tastes and specific nature and specific way of receiving things with the confidence of someone who has paid genuine attention and who trusts what that attention has taught them. You are known by this person, perhaps more than you have fully recognized, perhaps more than you have given them credit for knowing. The surprise is going to be evidence of that knowing. Specific, incontrovertible, built from genuine attention evidence that they see you in the detailed, particular, this specific person way that the planned thing reflects. Let me close with the simplest version of what this reading is about. Someone loves you in the specific, wants to see you smile, will plan something just for that quality of love that is made of genuine joy in your joy. Who has been paying attention to the particular details of who you are and what you love and what reaches you and what makes your face do the real thing? Who has taken that accumulated knowledge and is turning it into something, an act of care that has no ulterior motive, no strategic component, no agenda beyond the single, pure, most human of all possible motivations? They want to see you smile, and the smile they are working toward is not the polite one, not the appropriate to the occasion one, the real one, the one that arrives when something genuine has penetrated the composed exterior and reached the actual you, the one that is different from all the other smiles, and that anyone who has seen it wants to see again. They have seen it, they remember it, they are building something designed to produce it. Let it be produced. When the surprise arrives, and it is coming, these cards are showing me something assembled with care that is moving toward you with the warmth of genuine intention behind every detail. Let yourself receive it completely, without the management, without the redirect, without the this is too much or the let me make sure they are comfortable. Just the smile, the real one. Give them the thing they have been planning for. And then let yourself feel what it means that someone who knows you this specifically spent this much private joy building something for the sole purpose of producing it. That is what love looks like when it is expressed well, and it is on its way to you.